Today's tea is going to be an uplifting and spring-inspired blend of lemon balm, holy basil, and dried blueberries. That's really great for brightening your day. Lemon balm is actually a cousin of mint and is not only helpful with aiding in digestion, but can also help calm anxiety by potentially boosting GABA levels in the brain. And holy basil is a revered Ayurvedic herb with many benefits, including anti-anxiety, antimicrobial, and heart-healthy antioxidants. To round things out, dried blueberries are added for a little sweetness and for being packed with polyphenols, vitamin C and K, as well as manganese, which are all great for immune support in this springtime season where everybody's feeling a little under the weather. So we want to have something that's going to give us some calm, but also be really great in supporting our immune system and fighting off anything that's out there. So we're going to start out with a little bit of our lemon balm we have here, probably like a tablespoon-ish. And then we'll go in with our holy basil, probably about the same amount, a little less. A little shush. And then our dried blueberries, also about the same amount, tablespoon-ish. And then we're just going to steep with our hot water. And you can really see that nice color from the blueberries. Now we're going to cover this and let this steep for about 5 to 10 minutes. So now it's been 5 to 10 minutes and our tea is ready. So we're gonna give it a pour and see how it tastes. Ooh, this is so steamy. And definitely you can always steep longer. And what I like about these types of teas is you can, even if you're not going to finish all of it in one sitting, you can pop it in the fridge, cool it, and have it as iced tea later. Whew. It's the lemoniness from the lemon balm shines through and pairs really well with the holy basil. So it's very herbaceous, very green, like when you walk outside on a fresh spring day after it has just rained. Yes, so definitely love this immunity boosting tea. Stop in, maybe you'll find some. Welcome back to another episode of Here's the Tea. I'm Ashley, and on Here's the Tea, we spill the tea on the amazing nonprofits in our area. Each month, the co-op introduces a limited-run reusable canvas bag designed by local artist and screen printer Patrick Hiller of We Studios. This month's nonprofit is the Second Harvest Food Bank. And we have this beautiful bag here that Patrick made and designed. So Patrick's artist statement is with two organizations dedicated to feeding the community, featured back to back, it felt natural to carry a vintage vibe into May's bag benefiting the Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest Pennsylvania. To capture the true variety and abundance of a bountiful harvest, I shifted to a rich watercolor approach. He curated and combined several watercolor paintings by artist Daria Utsiagova that I felt had just the right touch of a vintage ad campaign. By finishing the composition with my own digital painting, the final piece serves as a vibrant, plentiful tribute to Second Harvest's mission of nourishing our region. And you can see we got some bread on there. We got all of the food groups covered. And it looks really nice on that white background as well. A little bit about the Second Harvest Food Bank before we dive in. The Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest Pennsylvania is the largest nonprofit food distribution organization in Northwest Pennsylvania and the only food bank in the region. Second Harvest solicits, receives, inventories, stores, and distributes millions of pounds of grocery products each year to hundreds of nonprofit member agencies that directly serve people facing difficult times in 11 counties. So today we are joined with Greg. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And we're going to be enjoying our lemon balm, holy basil, and blueberry tea as well.
Which is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good springtime tea. It's like we don't necessarily I don't need any more caffeine, but it's a nice like herbal blend, but also enlightening. Okay, so again, thank you for joining us, Greg.
Thanks for having us.
So how long has Second Harvest been around?
Yeah, we've been around since the early 80s. So 1982 is when we were officially founded. We started as a mission of the Benedictine sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, we started actually in a warehouse over on Ash Street. At that point, we were the Erie Community Food Bank. So we've been around almost, 45 years?
Oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah.
So has it always been under the name Second Harvest Food Bank, or has it kind of gone under some iterations?
Right. So it was originally founded as the Erie Community Food Bank, and then we joined, at that point, a national association of food banks known as America's Second Harvest. And when we joined them, many of the food banks around the country aligned their name to that. So that's why there's so many Second Harvests across the country.
Okay.
Second Harvest of Northwest Pennsylvania, Second Harvest of Northeast Pennsylvania, Second Harvest of Louisiana. We're all, independent organizations with our own boards, but many align to that. And then America's Second Harvest became Feeding America, which is today's largest nonprofit. It's an association of 200 food banks across the country. That's kind of the historical way that we got our name.
Cool. So like the benefit of being kind of like working together, like almost as like a co-op, would be, having like being able to organize things a little bit more easily and like share resources
That's exactly the benefit. So a couple benefits, having an organization the size of Feeding America, they're able to leverage partnerships with, major manufacturers, major sellers like the Walmarts of the world, right? So they can leverage those donations and then share it across the network. And then we work with many other Feeding America food banks to share those sorts of resources. Maybe we get a truckload of food that is, too much for our organization, and then we reach out to other food banks in the network and ship those trucks that way. So yeah, it's a great.
So it's like food banks, but also they're helping other food. Everybody's like kind of connected. That's
absolutely.
That's awesome. So you mentioned like receiving like truckloads of donations. So are they primarily from like businesses, organizations, where are these donations?
Great question. We source food from a plethora of different sources. So we administer some federal and state programs. So we get food from the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture and the USDA. But then we also work with manufacturers, local farmers. So we'll get donations from a manufacturer that maybe had a mislabel, misrun, where they won't put it out to retail, but the food is still perfectly good. So a great example I use is Smuckers. If you've seen, what do they call those? The goobers that are
with
like
the
half
peanut butter,
half peanut butter, half jelly. And if those don't come out perfectly straight in the manufacturing process, they won't sell them at retail, right? So we get all the like wiggly, squiggly ones. And so we'll get pallet loads of those sorts of things.
Wow.
And then we also, we do a little food rescue as well. I shouldn't say a little, actually a lot, where we are working with, the local Dollar Generals, country fairs, those sorts of organizations, rescue that food, get it to our pantry partners, and then we actually also buy food on wholesale. So we leverage our size to, purchase food to kind of supplement all those other sources of food in areas that maybe to get, a complete nutritious meal to a neighbor in need that, maybe didn't come through donations, maybe didn't come through a federal or state program. We'll also then purchase that through donations.
Nice.
So it's a big plethora of different sources.
Yeah. It seems like a very like vast network, but
absolutely.
Amazing that you have that support from the different food banks as well to help each other out. So if somebody is in need, and how would they go about to what kind of programs are offered that somebody might be able to take advantage of?
So so you mentioned it. We are a food bank. We're the only one in the 11 county region that we serve. So
that blows my mind.
And it's I think it's one of those things. I love to invite people to tours because they really get an understanding of what we do. So we have a 60,000 square foot warehouse. So we're receiving all of these sorts of truckloads of donations in. And then to kind of answer your question on how does a neighbor in need access that food? So a couple different ways. So we have a partner network of over 400 different pantries, food programs, school programs. And so basically those pantries, soup kitchens, whatever, order food from our warehouse, right? And we ship it out to them. And then at the kind of the front line, say at the City Mission or Emmaus, locally, those sorts of organizations, the neighbors, come for the meals or come to their pantries, and that food is being distributed from our location. Now, we also do have direct programming that we do. So we do some mobile pantries, mobile distributions out of our warehouse, as well as we will set up in areas where there's maybe not great access to a pantry. And so in those 11 counties, we'll go to like Warren and set up a mobile distribution.
Was there a drive this past weekend? Because I feel like I saw
so the
on
food
Peach
drive.
Street,
Yeah, right.
I drove by a van and I was like, oh, that's Second Harvest. I know them.
Yeah, right. So this past weekend was the Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive. It's a partnership of a National Letter Carriers Association. And it's actually a national campaign where, folks will take excess food they might have, put it out next to their mailbox, and then, the mail carriers will pick it up, bring it back to our location, and then we'll, sort and pack that. So, it was a whole day event. We loaded, I think, early totals, I think, just at the location I was at, we brought in almost 20,000 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Multiply that across, other locations. So
Amazing.
It's an amazing food drive, right?
Wow.
And then we have wonderful volunteers that kind of then sort through all of that. Check dates, that sort of thing.
I can imagine that would be a little tedious, very manual. So if somebody wants to get involved and help volunteer for some of these events, like what's the best way that they can get in contact with someone to learn about doing that?
Yeah, great question. And I've got to give a shout out to our volunteers. We could not do what we do without our volunteers. We have almost 1,700
oh my gosh.
Regular volunteers.
Shout out volunteers.
System. Absolutely. So there's so many different opportunities. So we mentioned the packing, sorting, those sorts of things, but we have opportunities for them to build backpacks that go to elementary school kids, senior box programs, so a lot of warehouse work like that. But then we have other great programs. I mentioned our mobile distribution, so you can actually work on the line and get food directly to neighbors in need. And then we have other really cool programs like gleaning, where we work with local agricultural partners, local farmers who've maybe harvested their crop, and then what's left, we can send our volunteers out and go collect that.
Oh, okay. So if somebody has a bunch of cherry trees and they're like, I don't want to worry about those ones. People can come out and
absolutely.
Pick fruit. Oh my, sign
right,
me up for that volunteer.
It's a great opportunity
because I'll come pick fruit all day.
And then we have some wonderful farming partners who actually grow for us. So we have some that do some sweet corn. So last year we got probably 30,000 pounds of sweet corn that way off a couple different acres. And so these are great volunteer opportunities. You can get out, work right in the field, get that food back to us. So
that would be.
There's a whole, and I think originally your question was how can you find out about these opportunities? So if you'd like to volunteer, you can go to our website, NWPA. Foodbank.org, and there's a volunteer section in there, and you can sign up, and once you get signed up, you can see all the different opportunities that you can get involved with.
Cool. Amazing. So, are there any upcoming events that we should be looking out for, or is there anything in the plans for future things?
So a couple events that we have coming up in September is Hunger Action Month, where we do everything to raise awareness around food insecurity. There's lots of great fundraisers, food drives that happen around that month, and then October is our next big kind of fundraiser. It's one of my favorite events that we do. It's called Empty Bowls. It's a simple meal of bread and soup, and to just kind of serve as a reminder to those that are struggling with food insecurity. And it's a great event. You can come.
Where's the event held at?
So this year we're actually moving the event. It is going to be at the Charter School of Excellence over in Lovell Place. They were our Bread Box Award winners. So every year we do a big, kind of award for our partners that have done fundraising for us, that have done food drives. The Charter School was our Bread Box recipient this year, and so we're partnering with them to do the event over there.
Perfect. So are there any other other opportunities that if somebody needs assistance or wants to
Perfect,
volunteer or anything like that, that they might be able to contact you on?
Yeah, so if you are a neighbor in need, or you have someone that needs help, they can either go to our website, nwpafoodbank.org. We have a food finder there where you can put in your address, and it will kind of connect you to your local food resources. We also on the website have a food emergency helpline as well that folks can call, and one of our staff will connect with them. And folks can show up to our warehouse if it's an emergency situation, and we can get you with an emergency food box and then get you connected to your local food resources. So
Awesome.
lots of different ways that if you were in need, we can get you connected.
Yeah, so like even if you have a very immediate need, like you can get some help. That's
absolutely
amazing. And then also get you hooked up with the resources that you need.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us,
Yeah,
Greg.
thank you so
This
much
was
for
amazing.
having me, and thank you for the partnership. This is fantastic. We couldn't do what we do without great community partners.
Yeah. So make sure you stop into the co-op, grab one of these beautiful reusable bags, and check out Second Harvest Food Bank. And thank you for joining us, and have a lovely rest of your day.
Hey everyone, this is Ash, just here to give you an update on the numbers for our nonprofit bag program. Our donation for this month is going to National Alliance of Mental Illness. We were able to raise $653.90 through the bag program for them. This will be the last month for you to purchase this bag for GEAE. We have around 38 of them remaining. So come in and get them before the month is up. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.